guys doing out there today? This is your boy Roto Beast. I'm here with my boy Jeremy. We're here to present you our MLB On Deck segment for Monday, May 27th. If you're new to this channel, please make sure and click the subscribe button below so you can watch all of our MLB, NBA, NFL videos. If you haven't came and checked out our website here at dfscheatsheet.com, you're absolutely missing out. We have all the tools to help you compete with the pros day in and day out, including a complete optimizer, tons of content, daily FanDuel and DraftKings cash lineups. Hey, we're truly a one-stop shop for all your DFS needs. So make sure to come check out the site here at dfscheatsheet.com. So, hey, what up, Jay? How you doing out there, bro?
Yo, what's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, another day, Memorial Day, possibly get a barbecue, something going today, play some baseball at the same time. So, yeah, man, looking like a very nice day today.
Absolutely.
For sure. So, I mean, hey, we got a 4-game slate. Do it a little bit different than we usually do it. We're going to kind of just quickly go game by game and get you just a little analysis of each game, kind of some spots that we're liking, some spots that we're not, and just kind of move about our day. So, hey, as always, this is more of a just overview, get you a general idea on today's slate. If you want a more full, in-depth analysis, make sure to check out the site. We have 5 or 6 different MLB content pieces up. Plus, we got NASCAR, PGA, MMA on the weekends, have NHL up as well. So, hey, man, we got everything. Check it out. Get yourself 14-day freestyle, dfscheatsheet.com. And yeah, man, let's talk some baseball. So if you want, you get us started with the Milwaukee side of things out there in that game in Minnesota.
And one quick thing, the reason we're able to do all this is because of the people that paid the ultimate price, and that's why we're celebrating this day. So let's just shout them out real quick, and we'll move on with it. The Mets. So I actually like a mini Met stack here against Kershaw. If you look and you see what Kershaw's numbers are, he has numbers that are kind of all over the place. 067 ISO to lefties and only at 18.2 K% to lefties. He gives up a 210 ISO to right-handed bats, but a much higher strikeout percentage at 26.4. So, Kershaw's obviously got some movement going on that's moving away from the right-handed bats. And he's able to probably use the outside corner a little bit more with that downward action on his curveball, nibble a little bit with the fastball. Lefties have a natural fade that does fade away from right-handed bats. So that's to me why he has the higher strikeout percentage to the right-handed bats. But he is giving up some power numbers to the right side, and there are some Mets that have absolutely smashed right-handed or left-handed pitching this year, mainly Pete Alonso. I mean, he's got 26 batted ball events resulting in fly balls or line drives with a 447 ISO this year against left-handed pitching. J.D. Davis a 237 ISO against left-handed pitching. Ahmed Rosario a 244 ISO against left-handed pitching. And then Brandon Nimmo is in this group as well. Nimmo, a lefty, obviously. It's a left-on-left matchup. The ISO numbers for Kershaw are really good against lefties, but Nimmo with a 198 ISO against lefties could kind of be a fourth guy you could throw in a Met stack. I really like a mini Met stack, especially on an 8-game slate where you have to find a way to be contrarian.
On a 4-game slate.
I'm sorry, a 4-game slate. 8 teams.
yeah, I got you.
So the thing is that there's going to be so much ownership on these two pitchers in this game, on DeGrom and on Kershaw. These are the most strikeout upside, the two of the best pitchers in baseball. But both of these guys, and you'll get into DeGrom in a minute, both of these guys have the ability to give up power numbers. And both these teams have a couple of guys on them that have ridiculous power numbers against the handiness of pitcher going tonight. So I don't mind a mini Met stack. I also don't mind getting exposure to Kershaw on this slate with 4 games, 8 teams. You can get exposure to both. So that's kind of where I'm at there.
And on the Dodgers side of things, if I had to choose, do I want to kind of attack Kershaw more or I want to attack DeGrom more? I'm probably going to want to attack DeGrom a little bit more. I mean, this season he's definitely had a couple of really, really good games, but he's also had a couple of games where he's got blown up. He gives up a 169 ISO to lefties, 161 ISO to righties, and a 41% hard contact rate. So, man, I do like the Dodgers in this spot. And then, you got to throw in the fact the Dodgers have a bunch of lefties that hit the ball hard, very far. For me, I'm really more looking at the lefties. But the Dodgers do have a couple of righties. I'm going to be looking at guys like, Jock Peterson, Muncy if he's going to be in that two-hole, Bellinger, Corey Seager. That's the Dodger lefty stack you kind of want to look at. But you can also throw in Justin Turner, Verdugo, Kiki Hernandez. We've been talking about him. He's been doing a little bit better this year, hitting right-hand batters. But for me, like I said, I'm looking more at the lefties, and you got to throw in Justin Turner because I feel he's a guy that has a little bit more reverse splits. And, that's really where I'm at with the Dodgers. I definitely think that both of these teams are probably going to be a little bit lower owned bat-wise just because these are the two best pitchers on the slate, and they're both probably going to be at least 30% in their own respective ways. But, yeah, this is a game that you could still attack with the bats and possibly be a little bit contrarian with a little bit lower ownership.
A couple of things that I'm going to mention to you from a strategy standpoint, one, and then two, just the Dodgers bats. Jock Peterson has a 434 ISO against right-handed pitching. Bellinger 395. The right-handed bat in this mix probably surprised you a little bit, but David Freese with a 290 ISO against right-handed pitching this year. The rest of it you already hit. I mean, Seager 217, Muncy 200, Verdugo 194, Austin Barnes 196. So there's a couple of right-handed bats, but Freese is not the guy that I would have thought of. He's kind of known to smash lefties.
Freese is my boy right now, bro. The other day I had ran 150 lines and I had him in I think 60 lines, so almost half my lines. They ended up hitting a grand slam at 3%. Won me some money that day. So we talk about David Freese, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's my boy.
So one other thing from a strategy standpoint, a lot of people don't realize this, but on this particular slate, this is exactly one of the things that I will be doing, and I think you should do it as well. That is, if you're going to roster Clayton Kershaw and you're planning on rostering the Dodgers, roster them together and build yourself like 4-2-2 stacks or 5-3-1 stacks. And what I mean by that is you can roster Kershaw and a 4-man Dodger stack. You can still do that on FanDuel. You have to get exposure to 3 teams. So you could go, the Dodgers with Kershaw, a 4-man lefty stack, and then 3 guys from a different game and then a one-off play. So you will be very, very different building lineups that way, and that's a really good way to be really, really different with your lineup being really low owned in comparison to somebody who just stacks the Dodgers in a 4-man stack and doesn't have the Dodgers with Kershaw or the Mets with DeGrom.
Right, for sure. Moving on, next game we're going to talk about, it's going to be Milwaukee going into Minnesota to face the Twins. Before we even get going in this game, this is the game that we got to kind of wait. There's a little bit of weather concern. There's going to be light rain, go all the way up into the first pitch. So it's really going to come down to if the field it can hold up enough is what's really going to happen. So this is a game. I mean, this is probably the best game to target bat wise, but I want to throw in there the fact that we got to wait and see kind of what happens with the weather as well. So go ahead and get us started with that Milwaukee side of things, bro.
The later we go in the day with no news from this game, the lower owned this game will become. So personally, selfishly, I'm hoping that at 6 Eastern, they say that it's going to be or at 6:30 Eastern, they're going to say it's going to be a late start, or 6:45, it'll be a late start. Plan on playing this game. This game's in Minnesota. In my opinion, it's one of the coldest, wettest places that we have for baseball, and that ground screw in that field was built to survive this type of thing. So I'm fully planning on this game being played, but understand what you're doing when you're loading it up. There is always a chance that it could be PPD'd. We've seen places like Yankee Stadium and Angel Stadium where there was no rain at all for 3 hours before the first pitch, but rain earlier in the day, and the games get PPD'd because the field didn't drain. So you're right with that. But look, Pineda, 212 ISO versus lefties, a 277 ISO versus righties. The Brewers have some guys that absolutely smash right-handed pitching. Christian Yelich with a 470 ISO this year against right-handed pitching. To me, Christian Yelich is a lock. He's the best one-off play on the slate. I just talked about building some 4-3-1 stacks. There's some value you could get on the Dodgers if some of these guys end up being in with Freese, Verdugo. Muncy's price is a pretty good price right now. And then you could one-off with Christian Yelich and still get some Kershaw exposure. So Yelich with a 470 ISO, Moustakas a 305 ISO, Grandal 229 ISO, and then Ben Gamel, a very good value play. He has a 191 ISO. It's not quite at the benchmark, but for his price tag and what you need to fit in on the slate with the 2 top pitching options, I think Gamel's a really good play as well, a really good one-off play to get exposure to this game and get exposure elsewhere. So I think the Brewers are the top stack on the slate going against Pineda. They kill right-handed pitching. This is a good hitting environment. Bro, these are the two best power teams this year. I mean, these two teams have absolutely smashed the baseball. When you look 1 through 9, their lineups, they don't have guys that are really under 200 from an ISO standpoint. You got Braun and Gamble really for the Brewers. This kid they brought up, Keston Hira, this kid has absolutely smashed the baseball since he brought up. He's the guy that put Travis Shaw on the IL. I like this Milwaukee team. I think this game plays. The wind's going to be blowing out. You got to like it even more. And really, the other side of it's just as good.
Yeah, I mean, on the Minnesota side of things, they're going to match up against Gio Gonzalez. He gives up a .038 ISO to lefties, a 176 ISO to righties. So, I mean, I feel you definitely want to target Gio Gonzalez with some righties. And, they have some righties definitely in this lineup. They have some pop. You got to look at Jorge Polanco, John DeScope in the top of the order. Both of those guys switch hitters. If they're going to be 1-2 in the lineup, they're definitely in play on today's slate. CJ Cron, he's a guy that he gives you some power upside from the right side. Saw a matchup for him, and then the other guy that I definitely would throw in there as a fourth guy, and he'll probably be the main guy in all my Minnesota stacks, is going to be Miguel Sanó. He's coming back from being injured, and he started off, pretty solid since he's been back. We know the double dong upside that he gives us every single night. So I definitely think those are going to be the four guys that I'm going to be targeting for the Twins. I mean, you can look at a couple extra guys. You could throw in a Brunson in the bottom of the lineup. I mentioned I like the 1, 2, 3 hitters. So, you can even go a Brunson number 9 hitter and then wrap it back around 1, 2, 3 with Polanco, Scope, Cron. Like those guys a lot. But like I said, the main guy that I like in this lineup going against Gonzalez is going to be Miguel Sanó. I mean, the guy's he's swinging a good bat and he has major pop. I definitely like the Twins almost just as much as you like the Brewers. This is definitely the game that we want to target bat-wise. Did I miss anybody, Twins, or did it pretty got everybody?
Adrianza, if he's in the lineup, has brought his ISO up in the past 2 weeks to over 260. He was the only guy in this lineup when they were on the road in their road trip that was in the lineup that was under 200 with the ISO. He's now above 260. Sanó, who you mentioned, 273 ISO against right-handed pitching. He's only been back for just a little over a week. Rosario is the guy that I look at in the middle of this lineup. He's to me one of the better power hitters that they have, and he's got at 324 ISO against left-handed pitching. So it's a left-on-left matchup. People may not look to get the left-on-left matchup. You can get him a little bit lower on the stack, and your boy CJ Cron absolutely crushes lefties. 500 ISO this year.
Right, for sure. So yeah, that's where we're at, man. Moving on. Next game we're gonna go with Pittsburgh going into Cincinnati to face the Reds. This game, it is gonna be the second end of a back-to-back. They are currently playing right now, so we're gonna have to kind of wait and see who is in the lineup for today. But yeah, man, go ahead and get us started with the Pittsburgh side of things.
Yeah, so look, Pittsburgh has some guys in this lineup, and you talk about Sonny Gray coming off a really good start against the Brewers, and here he is at home. But it's Great American Small Park, and we know that the ball absolutely can get out of this yard really quick. So his numbers, he only allows an 0.49 ISO to lefties this season, over a 30% K rate against lefties, a 151 ISO to righties. The first guy that pops into my mind on this Reds team is Suarez. Suarez has just been absolutely lights out over the past couple weeks. 262 ISO against right-handed pitching. You got to look at Derek Dietrich if he's in this lineup. Dietrich may be a guy that's not, for some reason, he's kind of spot starting. This is the best Dietrich's played in his whole career. It is it will be the second end of the doubleheader here. So Jesse Winker, another guy you could possibly look at. I do like the Reds in this game. Keller's a guy that is a AAA guy, man, and I know you'll talk a little bit about his numbers, but I do like both sides of this game. I know I talked about the Reds. I'll give you the stuff just from a hitting standpoint on the Pittsburgh side of it. But Josh Bell, to me, this guy he's having a career year. 407 ISO against right-handed pitching, and that's Sonny Gray. So, I think you could use Gray in this game against Pittsburgh. I just don't know what kind of I mean, you'll get him low owned. It's really risky in this park. The K upside will be there, and it's probably one of those starts where he could probably pitch 6 innings, give up 4 runs, and strike out 6, 7, 8 guys. So, it's an upside play with Gray on the slate. It's a low owned play. It's definitely a tournament play. It's just, Bell, Polanco, Reynolds, Marte, all these guys hit right-handed pitching really well. So that's kind of where I'm at with that.
Yeah, so I mean, on the other side of things with Cincinnati, you mentioned it. You got Keller. Yeah, I mean the guys are pitching well in AAA, but there's a big difference between AAA and the major leagues, and that's why the major leagues get paid big bucks, and AAA guys are, they're trying to get better. Keller in AAA, I'll just throw it out there real quick. He is 5-0 this season so far, 10 Ks per 9 innings, so he's striking out some guys. For me, man, I mean, I'm looking at the lefty mashers, for the Reds. You got to look at Dietrich. You got to look at Suarez, Winker. You can even throw Votto in there. Votto, he hits lefties pretty good, even though it's a lefty-lefty matchup. So I think that you can look at him. I think that he's a guy possibly in play. But for me, I mean, I'm really targeting those 3 guys, and then I'll get some combinations with some other guys as well. But like I said, Dietrich, Suarez, and Winker are the main guys that I'm really, really looking at on the Cincinnati side of things. Is there anybody else on Cincinnati jumping out to you, bat-wise?
I mean, you could look at the rookie Senzel if he's going to be in the lineup. He'll probably lead off. This is a guy that they expect big power things out of. He kind of got off to a good start, and he's kind of hit a lull. But he's going to face a AAA pitcher here, and that's really what it is. I mean, look, Keller has decent stuff. He has the ability to throw 97, 98 miles per hour. He has a good 11-5 curveball, so his 2-piece is decent. His control is the one thing he's kind of struggled a little bit with. He's about a 3 walk per 9 guy. So AAA, he averaged 10 strikeouts per 9 is what his K per 9 is, but his walks are also up. The BABIP against him is over 300. The batting average against him is over 260. So he has a lot of upside in this matchup, and it's really going to depend on the lineup that gets confirmed for the Reds. Who's in it? It's the second game of the doubleheader. They may rest the older guys, like Votto may get the day off, etc. So it's really going to be about checking this lineup and seeing who's in it. And if it doesn't look like, if Suarez is out and Dietrich is out and Winker is out and they go with some other guys, Keller may be a guy that's a really good upside play in this spot.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and this is the game that, like we said, we got to wait and see what the lineups look like on the doubleheader. You're absolutely right. It could be the older guys get a little bit of rest. Especially it also depends on who wins the game too. If one of the teams wins the game, they may, hey, we got this first game. Let's kind of rest some people. So I'm with you for sure. Moving on, last game we're going to talk about of the day is going to be the Texas Rangers going into Seattle to face the Mariners. Yeah, man, get us started with that Texas side of things.
The numbers on Malone are a little bit inflated, so I'm not really going to get into them because he's only had the one start, and it was against Texas. But in that start, the lefties got to him, 333 ISO. And that's not – the only reason I'm mentioning the left-handed ISO number is because there's some guys in this Texas lineup that have absolutely smashed lefties this year. Joey Gallo, you wouldn't think of this, has a 364 ISO this year against left-handed pitching. Hunter Pence, he is a right-handed bat, 333. Really good year for Hunter Pence so far. And Mazzara has a 277 ISO against left-handed pitching. Mazzara has hit way better against lefties this year for some reason than he has against righties. That's the 3 guys I would build my Texas stacks around. Tommy Malone is not a good pitcher. I don't look for Tommy Malone to go out and get a quality start. I think that this is one of those spots where on the deep dive, I'll take a look and implied run totals kind of last and kind of see what sticks out to me, what's off, what's not. The implied run totals for this game to me don't look right. Seattle, I think, is an implied run total of 5, and Texas has an implied run total of 4.6. It's only 0.4 of a point difference, right? But I think Texas should be over 6 in this spot, and I think Seattle should be probably right at 3.8, 3.9. Because you'll talk about Lance Lynn, but the guy's been really good this year.
Yeah, no, I mean, you took the words right out of my mouth. I don't know what to do right now, just because. Yeah, Lance Lynn. I mean, the past couple of years, he's been getting hit. I mean, he's one of those guys where he'll have a couple good starts in a row, and then he'll just lay an egg. Have a couple good starts in a row, and he'll just lay an egg. That's what Lance Lynn is. I mean, he's a guy that can give you, he reminds me kind of Bartolo Colon. We always want to target Bartolo Colon. Oh, he's old. He's gonna get smashed, and then he'll go out and have a decent game. Same thing like your boy Cashner. Cashner's not, we always say we want to target Cashner, but he always figures out a way to get out of jams and kind of get your quality start. And that's the same thing that Lance Lynn does. Mariners, they have some good hitters for sure. Give you some quick numbers on Lance Lynn. He gives up a 43% hard contact rate, 114 ISO to lefties, 177 ISO to righties. So you probably want to target him a little bit more with righties. But both sides are in play. One guy that we mentioned was Kyle Seager. He's back in the swing of things with the Mariners. He was pretty cheap at $2,900, and I think he's a guy that you definitely can look at. It's a really good price tag. But outside of that, the other guys that I'm really going to be looking at: Haniger, Domingo Santana, Edwin Encarnacion. Those are their main bats. Those are their big time hitters. Vogelbach is having a pretty good season as well. If he's going to be in that lineup, then you can look at him. Jay Bruce is definitely hit or miss, but he has some upside. And Tim Beckham. I don't like the fact he's batting in the 7 hole, but it's going to probably drive that down some ownership if he's going to be that low down in the lineup. And the guy's been showing us some massive pop to start the season. Has a little bit of stolen base upside as well. I do like the Mariners, man. I think they are in play. It's just we just got to get the right ones. Is what it's really going to come down to. Who's standing out for you on the Mariners side of things?
Lance Lynn.
Lance Lynn, you like Lance Lynn a lot?
Look, let's just talk about this really quick. In 2 starts this year against Seattle, he's pitched 14 innings, struck out 20, 55 fantasy points and 58 fantasy points, went 7 innings in both of them, got you a quality start in both of them. In 10 starts this year, he has 6 quality starts. He's 6-3. He already has 2 wins against the Mariners. The only thing I don't like about this is what we talk about when it comes to facing a team 3 times. So this will be the 3rd time that he's going to face this Mariner lineup. You do have Kyle Seager back in the mix. I think Kyle Seager at 2.9 is the one guy that sticks out to me. Already had a pretty decent weekend in Oakland when he came back. Kyle Seager's a guy you put him back in the middle of this lineup. It adds another left-handed bat that kind of breaks it up a little bit with the top of that order. Even Tim Beckham, where he's a right-handed bat. Dan Vogelbach has been the one guy that's consistently had the power numbers, and I think you can put Kyle Seager behind him, and now Vogelbach has more fastball situations to get at. So I think that any stack I built with Seattle, I would put Kyle Seager in it. 1, salary relief, and 2, opportunity. Just if the Mariners are going to go off today, my opinion is it's going to be Kyle Seager who's going to be kind of the linchpin in that whole thing.
Yeah, for sure. So, that's really where we're at. 4 games, just kind of knocked it out real quick, and we're going to get ready for this evening. So, hey, if you want to check out some more info that we got on today's slate, make sure to check out the site, dffcheatsheet.com. Get yourself a 14-day free trial. Yes, we're giving you 2 weeks absolutely free on the site. Make sure that our tools are right for you. And, hey, man, outside of that, good luck on your guys' contest tonight, and peace out.